Well, something that's real tied to what Mike said. Working on a project and I was actually acting, and the director gave me this trick. And it's very similar to the Knuckles. I could not pronounce this set of words together. Some words, writers don't always speak the words aloud when they write. And
they never speak it with your mouth.
Yeah. And so sometimes you get dialogue that is nearly impossible to say. And so I had this dialogue and I could not get it out. And the director said, say it once, holding the tongue. And so if you hold the tongue and say the dialogue, and then you release, you have all this freedom, and you just and you rip right through it. That was one thing. I had another thing in my head, another trick. What other trick was there? It's
you guys do the slip key thing? I caught that from Taliesin not long ago.
What?
Yeah, that this or even a Sharpie or anything.
Oh yeah, there's always that. Yeah, to stop the pee pops.
Yeah.
It'll
just split the sound.
Yeah.
The one that I just thought about, and I'll come back to you, Matt Greenfield, the show that I'm working on has a ton of older female actresses. And they're all bit parts. They're all tiny roles. And I was like, oh my God, we've only got 2 or 3 really strong, older females, like 60 plus females. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And Matt said, look, have the actress come in and alter just the quality of her voice slightly. And then pitch it down by 2, which is like pitching it down a full step. Because as women age, their voice lowers. And I did that at one point in the show with Lucy Christian. I did it with Tiffany Grant, with Allison Keith.
They're all over 60, by the way.
They're all much younger than 60. None of them sound like themselves. And it's just, I needed a couple of small bit parts. And I was like, boom. And we got to the point where it just became a machine with majors. Pitch it down to, yeah, right, boom. You could not tell it was them. And I would never have thought, I mean, I've used pitch tool on stuff before, but I never thought to use it to age women.
I'm not even going to think of mine. And this is not a trick that I have used on an actor before, but Zach Bolton, who directs Shin-Chan and all kinds of things, Soul Eater. I was in once doing some Shin-Chan, and I finished my stuff, and we had tons of time. So much. So he's like, let's just fill you in with these random bits. So you can play this little boy, play this Australian, play this, okay, all right. And then we're running out of things for me to do, but we want to keep playing, basically. So there's this scene where there's a really big lady in a fitting room or something like that, and somebody like Shin or his dad walks in on this woman, and she gets really angry and starts yelling. And we mean a big woman. Like Amazon, everything about her is big. And I'm like, you want me to do that? I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm like, I don't know how to do that kind of voice. Because we kind of get that way as actors. We can either be excited about this new opportunity or terrified about it. Like, oh dear, how am I going to make a voice for that? So what they did was they pitched my voice up a lot, but only so I could hear it, like in my headphones. I think maybe in one ear, maybe 2. So when I would speak in my ears, it was really high. And they said, do your best to make what you're hearing sound like your normal voice. So I'm like, okay. And it took a while for me to get used to it, but eventually I was like pushing my voice down and I couldn't hear. Because when you try and make yourself sound lower in your woman, you feel really dumb. So this, I couldn't notice at all. I was just trying to stop sounding like Minnie Mouse. And once I sounded like Caitlin again, and they played it back for me. I'm like, who is that? It sounded like absolutely not a sound of it was anything that I recognized as my own voice.
Yeah.
It was rad.
On Wallflower, we had to have this ghost and Sinatra talk at the same time. Mm-hmm. And we knew that we wanted kind of a Jeffrey Rush feel. We wanted everything right in here for the pilot. And I was going to go with John Swayze because John could knock that out of my heartbeat. And my engineer was playing around. We had Anna Alcorn. She was going to lay down the tracks versus Sinatra. And I said, yeah, I've been here with kind of an Irish lilt. And she actually did a fairly strong Irish. And the engineer said, hold on a second, I just got to try something. And he pitched it all the way down. Well, all of a sudden, it was the smooth one. And I went, wait a minute. Copy that and put her track on top of it. We just reused Swayze for other stuff. That hire is actually because Sinako completely pitched down and works beautifully. And that was just the engineer. Sometimes you get the best stuff with an engineer playing around.
Well, the trick stuff that I've done before, it's often, when you're in a booth, you're by yourself, okay? And depending on which point in the process you go, if you're the first person to go, there's no one else. You're not even going to hear anybody else. And you're reading lines from the script. These aren't things that you're giving, I'd say vastly more often than not, you don't get the script to take home and, you're not memorizing your stuff. So sometimes, people get stuck in a rut like actors, and it sounds like they're reading, And anybody ever seen the movie Tootsie?
Yes.
Dustin Hoffman is like an acting, he's also like an acting coach in addition to being an actor in that. And there's a lot of little tricks that he does in that. And one of the things he's like, on a completely unrelated thing, he's talking to Jessica Lange, who's having trouble with the scene. He's like, I'm going to ask you a question, just answer it, okay? And he asks her a question, she answers. It's very natural. So, and it's like, and then he'll talk to her like that. And then when she goes back to the script and does the line, it comes out so much more naturally. That it's just, you don't know what the question is going to be. You don't know what your answer is going to be until you say it, as the character. So trying to get people to relax like that. And another thing is sometimes actors will get too caught up with the sync, especially if it's kind of funky and and then sometimes with that, I'll turn off the TV and be like, let's just do this, and just so they're not caught up by that. And I'll pat myself on the back here. I'm a good editor, so I'll make, if you're giving me good reads, and with Pokemon in particular, like, the script is adapted very well, so we can almost do like entire episodes with the TV off because it's gonna lock in, so that way, like, don't worry about the flap. That's the last thing I want the actor to sweat, Worry about, you're the character. Worry about, playing this character. I'll worry about the technical stuff. And if I need to give you a little tech note, fine. Otherwise, don't even think about it. Yes, just act, So.
That one more than you were trying to think of.
Just one last. There's a trick. Some people have trouble laughing on cue. And just one quick trick. Because most people think, I gotta laugh. I gotta get a big lung full of air. Ha 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 ha! No. Blow out half your air before you laugh. It comes out much more natural.
I have another trick for that. On Peter Rabbit, the kid who plays Benjamin, he's not a great natural laugher. So his mom comes to the booth and hazes him. They call it hazing, but she like jabs it.
Yes. And 3 hours later when he wakes up, he's like, this time you're going to laugh right, or we'll do that again.
But that didn't really work on Marmalade. No.
I've had to do that with Henry, because Henry, my older son, the 9-year-old who's with me here, he does stuff for me sometimes, and he works for the Turkish stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and with that sometimes it's like, if you can't, and the big laughs for him are easier. It's the little ones that, that can be tough, but sometimes you just gotta,
Yeah, that was great. Matthew Modine responded really well to the tickling.
Nice. Well, then, even, I don't know, were you in the thing that The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Bear, that Danish movie I did? Okay. But that, I collected, like, laugh banks for these children, that just in case I needed to kind of, go in for that. But, that Veronica Taylor's daughter was in that when she was 5.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, she was just so perfect and natural, and she had this great little lisp because she was missing her front teeth, and it was, it was awesome. And I thought for certain that, I'm like, oh, would you want to be in this? And after that, she's like, no, that was fun, but I don't want to do it anymore. But now she's getting back into it, I think. And she's like 13.
13?
Yeah.
I remember when she broke my remote control tank in my studio.
She's like as tall as him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. By the way, I do need to call this out. Are you cosplaying as Chris Sabat? Because no, you. Anyway, sorry.
You're fine. We got 5 minutes.
Let's do like a lightning round.
Yeah, lightning questions.
Lightning round. Something that
Good
we can
questions.
answer.
Answer in like 1 or 2 words. All right.
No, you've asked. You had your question. Show me your question. Purple hair.
Are you Leela? Whoops. I saw the one eye. Sorry. Tom.
Favorite animated director. All right, great. We'll get there. Cocker starring him. Check it out.
I've loved all of them, but Narramadicon Brothers is just so silly.
Me, it wasn't a big title, but Scribe, because I had Bloom and a bunch of great actors.
We're on high school most of them.
The last volume 5 of Gundam Unicorn, which is simultaneously released and therefore very, very difficult, but it went like butter. I don't even know why. It's incredible. I felt like Superman.
Hey,
Okay,
lightning questions. Hoodie.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm an English major. I'm sure you guys don't all the time, but what are some like recommendations of how to get started into like storytelling for TV?
Can you like Writers Guild internships? Things like that. Who you know is very important. Very important. And hook up with other like-minded creative people. Something that Mr. Sister Nicholas had always said, that a lot of us, when we do this sort of thing, people can look at us, we can look at each other like we're competition, but we're colleagues also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hooking up with like-minded people, you can do a lot for each other.
I got nothing.
You.
What? It's definitely, I think, something that I couldn't start training to do until I already worked at Funimation. You can't go to school. You can learn how to do ADR, movie type directing.
Yeah.
But I went to school and I learned theater directing and how to talk to actors.
Yeah, it's all about communication.
That's really,
Yeah, it really is all about communication.
And if you do want to get into doing cartoons, animation, understanding the tech side of the process, I think is extremely helpful.
Yes.
And that's something that you can learn in class, Pro Tools, etc.
Back there, way back in the back.
The anime Alien 9 stars Veronica Taylor does voices on it,
Yes.
and there's a scene where she used to voice Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. There's a scene where she says in Ash's voice, "Gotta catch 'em all."
I know.
Can you talk about that? And do you
I
guys?
was just like, can you say this? And she's like, I'm not supposed to. I'm like, but can you? She's like, okay. So, really, that was it. I mean, I just, because there's an aspect of that show that is like Pokemon on acid. These little, their little partner alien helmets that kill. So, when I put her in that, I was just like, can you just do this as sort of an in-joke? And she did.
It was Southland Studios. Yeah, I'm friends with Scott Gould, and he's one of the band, does great work, and I did one thing with him. There was one thing that I really wanted to do. Oh, actually it was Beldandy and Keiichi. In Armageddon, yeah. But it's a good thing. I was approached about doing it. I couldn't because I was busy doing something at that other studio. And it's a good thing because it ended up being a real-world couple, Juliet Cesario and Scott Simpson. So that was cool. But I did some smaller things over there with Scott. Scott's awesome.
And our liaisons are standing up, so I think that means it's time. There's another panel. Thank you guys for being here.